everybody, welcome, welcome. I am Eva Medalek, and I have an amazing treat for you today. I have a guest on that's going to help us organize our brains, our lives, our computers, our drawers, our files, our papers, all of that. So thank you for joining us live today, and please let us know in the chat where you are tuning in from and what you need help with organizing in your life. So let me introduce you to our expert professional organizer, Kathi Burns. So she's here today to help us become more organized and energized. And I love that because when we are disorganized, it does zap our energy. She is also a best-selling author, a board-certified professional organizer, and an image consultant. Now, Kathi is nationally recognized for her simple organizing and style solutions and featured on Good Morning America as a successful woman-owned business. So, wow, she's a big deal. I did not realize that. Hi, Nana. Thanks for joining us. Yes. So, Kathi, tell us how you got started being an organizer, because I imagine you being a little girl and people coming over to play with your toys and you just wanting them to be all set up just right.
It's so funny you say that. I met a childhood friend at my father's funeral, flash forward 50 years. And she goes, the thing I remember about you is you had that ring organizer thing. And I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, it was a little tray where you organize your rings. And I thought that was crazy. So, I never really considered myself that organized. But I've had several careers and they've all caused me to live small. I was a licensed boat captain where I delivered boats. So I learned, you have to have only the minimal stuff that you need on the boat, and you need to know where it is and how to find it. Then I became a travel writer living out of a suitcase. So I learned this minimalism stuff through various careers. And when I decided to find out what I wanted to do when I grow up after doing all these, really cool careers. Things. Yeah. I said, oh, okay, I know how to live minimal. I know how to live small. And guess what? I love change. And most people are very afraid of change, but I've had so many careers, I just thrive on it. I figured that the easiest way that I can help people change is through helping them learn how to let go of what's in their life that no longer serves them. Once they learn how to let go, they learn how to embrace change. And
that's the toughest part, Kathi. That's the toughest part, because honestly, I have my family has some serious hoarding tendencies, and every time I would visit my parents, I would just go through and start throwing out stuff, and it caused them great anxiety. I realized, but then I noticed little ways that it creeps into my life. And my husband is from Germany, and so that culture is very organized in general. And he would say to me, before you buy anything new, we got to get rid of something old. So we started having garage sales every year, every fall. So, and I looked at it, it was like, oh, I get to have new stuff if I can just let go of some of the old things. So I hear you on that. And letting go is hard because there's sentimental stuff. And so how do you talk to me about the benefits of what you do and of being organized, and what that does to enhance our life, our brain, our energy, like whatever. And let me just say hi to a few people watching, because I see some Banda from Zambia is watching, Barrett. I don't want to mess up your names, guys. Chris Lane is here from, oh, it doesn't say where you're from, Chris. Wendy's here from North Carolina. Hi, Wendy. So I see a bunch of you on here. This is going to be powerful. Share this out with your friends. If you've got a disorganized friend in your life, just invite them to watch this right now, or at least watch the replay, because I'm sure we're going to get some great tips from Kathi. So tell us about the benefits of being organized, as I'm looking at my desk thinking, okay.
Right. So when you're organized, you have space. When you're disorganized, you have clutter everywhere, and it really impacts your brain. So any pile of any sort is a distraction to your focus. So if you have a pile, it's silently screaming at you to do something, right? And then you're distracted and you're trying to write something, but this pile's going, what's going on over here? Or you're like, what's in that pile? So number one, if you get rid of the piles, you have space. And if you have space, you're able to have clarity. So organizing really isn't about getting rid of the crap. It's more about eliminating the distractions that are keeping you from your focus. So I guess it is kind of eliminating the crap, but really you need to learn how to let go. And letting go is a muscle, and most of our letting go muscles are atrophied. I find when I work with clients, they're like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it again. And then once they add some space and they let go and they feel how good it feels to have uninterrupted, free frontier in front of them, then they're like, just let it go. It really doesn't matter. Once you develop that muscle, then you're organized. And this is the thing, as you said earlier at the top, Eva, as you're energized, because any kind of clutter or undone task or unfinished project or whatever will zap your energy. So if you want to be energetic and inspired, you want to have open space. You want to have space in your life.
And I love what you said about the focus, because what I work on a lot with my clients is focus, eliminating distractions, competing interest. And you're right, it does get in the way. I even remember, recovering from surgery, laying in bed and, could not relax enough because I saw a pile or a dust bunny or something that I had to just have organized so that it allowed me to relax more and be able to heal better. And so here's the thing for those who may be watching, who have just let it go a little bit out of control and it feels overwhelming now to start getting organized. What are some things to help us feel less overwhelmed and at least get started? Because when a task gets too big, we put it off and we start procrastinating because it feels heavy and it feels hard. How do we just get started?
Get started by something that's very easy to do. Okay, you want to have a win, right? The easiest place that I found for most of my clients is start with your sock drawer. If your sock drawer is overflowing and you can't close it and there's all these loosies running around and you go in there and you're feeling like, start there. The reason that I like the sock drawer, number one, is to contain confined space. It's not like way overwhelming. We don't have emotional attachment to our socks generally. Generally. And it's going to be easy because you're going to find all these loosies that don't even have matches. That'll be an easy thing. Okay. So get your sock drawer organized so that you can open and shut it. Your whites are with your whites, your colors with your colors. Organize it that way. And then you'll have a win. And once you have that win, you're more empowered to do something a little bit more difficult. So do not jump into your junk drawer. That's like crazy in the making, right? Because that's crazy anyhow. So there's too many miscellaneous parts. So start with something that has one type of item in it and make that nice, make it pretty, get the organizers, do it up, do whatever makes you feel good when you're opening up that drawer. Then you'll have a win, then you'll become more empowered. Then you can tackle a larger project. But as you said earlier, Eva, I really love, you have to break these projects into small bits and pieces or you will be overwhelmed. So just like any goal setting structures, just organizing is the same thing. Okay, set it up in small pieces so you can do it one by one by one by one. If you just go in and say, I'm going to organize that junk drawer today and it's going to be done, you're probably going to end up in overwhelm because there's so much miscellanea happening in there. Right?
I had a funny story that I'm sure you can appreciate. I'm leaving Sunday for 6 weeks in Europe. And so I'm like a senior in high school. Like I've got senioritis. Like I don't really want to do anything else except pack and get ready to go. I don't want to do any work, but I found that I'm doing more work in preparation for that. And it's all good stuff because, I have a business that I have to run, but I've started with the one suitcase that I can pack ahead of time that has my vitamin supplements and, stuff for my computer, for lighting so that I can do my videos and stuff. And I was looking for something in a cabinet that I never really go into. And then I found photos. And good Lord, did I go down the rabbit hole of old photos of my kids, of my cousins, old coworkers. And I'm like, oh, I've got to send this to this woman I worked with years ago. Look at us when we were young. And I snapped a picture, sent it to her, snapped a picture. And then it was like, oh my God. I mean, it was fun. And I did put a time limit on it. Like I needed to do what I needed to do by a certain time. And I find that helps, not the task expands to the time you give it. And I realized that early on when trying to clean my office. If I can get it straightened up, because the cleaning ladies are coming in 20 minutes, but if I have a whole weekend to try to organize the whole thing, I get nothing done. So I do it in chunks. And then, like you said, I do one drawer, one cabinet at a time, and I work my way through. But what do we do with stuff that we need to let go of, but is still useful?
Donate it. Absolutely donate it. So I have a donation bag in two parts of my house at all times. It's always going. One in my hall closet, one in my master closet. So when I put on clothes and I'm like, throw it in the bag before I think about it. No, I don't like it for some reason. Anything that I find in the house is miscellaneous, I just throw it in the hall closet in the donation bag. Once it's full, I take it and go. You definitely need to have donation stations set up within your house because it's an easy thing. You're like, oh no, boom, throw it in there. If you don't have a landing zone or an exit strategy for the stuff you no longer use, need, or love, then you'll just put it back down again, and there'll be nothing that you can do with it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Donation stations. That's a keeper.
Yeah. And it's funny that you talked about travel packing. This whole month, my blog on Organize and Energize is all about travel. And
I know, I got your emails.
I have a travel packing list. I have everything you could possibly want, as well as tips of what I do whenever I travel light, because I like to travel in one suitcase.
Yes. And I like to bring an empty suitcase. Because I like to shop when I travel. No, fortunately, we're going to one of our homes in Europe, so there's a lot of stuff there already, but we are taking a little vacation. So this time the bathing suits are coming and things like that. And it's summer, so it's not going to take up a lot of space. But, for me, learning to work from anywhere in the world is what's challenging to me. And it's like, I don't know what my background will be like. So I got to get a portable green screen and I need a special microphone for the radio. It's like all of those little things. It's the first time I'm doing it that way. But no, I did get your blog on packing for travel. And I was like, oh, let me see what's going on here. So how can people sign up to get those tips from you?
They can just go to organizeandenergize.com and you can download a free tip to organize your life. And then once you do that and you get that special report as my gift, I give you a gift, and then you'll be put on the e-tips list. And every Sunday I put out new tips for whatever is current for the season. July is all about travel. So every week I get on travel tips.
So what is it? Organized and Energized?
Organizedandenergized.com.
Put that in. Organized and Energized. I can spell .com. And so we can put that so people can learn more of these amazing organization tips, because it really, when your life is, when you're not organized and stuff around you feels out of order, it really impacts how you show up in every area of your life. How you do one thing is how you do anything. So you really, the only thing that I'm challenged with right now is space and storage. So before we end this, tell us what tips you have for us to organize things in our home and office, like maybe 3 tips.
Okay. Well, number 1, go vertical. Okay. So use your vertical space. I see that you're doing that with the tall shelf behind you. As much vertical. So we have all this vertical space around us that we don't use. So that's tip 1. I have a webinar coming up that I'm talking about the 3 things that really overwhelm entrepreneurs, and it's an overflowing inbox, and not having control of your inbox, not having control of your files or your papers. Okay, the papers around you, or you do files on your computer and you don't know where to put them. So having a standard naming procedure for your files is super important. And also, you know, as an entrepreneur, have a password vault. Make sure that your password's safe and secure. Don't use the same password over and over and over again. I find a lot of my clients spend massive amounts of hours just trying to reset their password over and over because they can't remember what their password was.
I use LastPass.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I use LastPass for that. And but sometimes it doesn't always work. You know, it gets you to the site and then it asks you to enter it again. Like, well, you know, well, why do I have you? But no, but that's good, especially if you're working with other people who need access to your accounts. They can get in it without seeing your password. But yeah, a password vault is really helpful because at a certain age, we can't remember. Was it the dog's name, the cat's name, grandma's name?
Whose name was it?
Who was it? Whose birthday was it? Whose birthday was it? Well, Kathi, this has been extremely helpful. Thanks for coming on and giving us some tips to get organized. I love the donation bag. I have a favorite place that I donate clothes and goods to. It's the local animal society, the Humane Society here. And knowing that the Humane Society had a thrift shop made it easier for me to let things go, knowing that I was sponsoring a spay or a neuter or something and really giving quality things. Because I used to do consignment a lot. And you know, assignment that, you know, consignment, I should say, they can reject you. Like, no, we don't want this. And I was like, oh, it can be quite heartbreaking when people reject your stuff. But yeah, find a place where you can donate that makes you feel good, that your gently used things that are no longer useful to you can help someone else or another cause or something. So awesome.
And then realize whatever you send out, you get back, you know, so nothing's ever really lost. To just give, and more will come back to you. That's how it works.
Yes, that's how the universe works. So thank you, Kathi. Guys, go to her organizedandenergized.com site and get some of her free tips, and so that you can constantly get what she has to offer weekly, monthly, however often she sends that out. Thanks to everybody for joining. Thank you, Kathi. And y'all have a great rest of your week. And I will see you from Berlin next week.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.